I'm Jeff Matlow. Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. Welcome back to the best leadership podcast ever, where every week we dive into your daily habits and look at them from a different perspective so we can catapult your career. My name's Jeff. I'm a recovering entrepreneur, and now I help growth stage to Fortune 500 companies 10x their team's productivity. Today, I want to talk about managing people, because managing people is hard. But first, let's talk about one of my heroes, Dharmesh Shah. Dharmesh Shah is amazing. He's the co-founder and CTO of Hubspot, which is one of my favorite companies of all time. And along with his co-founder, Brian Halligan, they built the company from an idea to a multi-billion-dollar business. But that's not the only reason I think he's amazing. So Dharmesh was in charge of creating the company's culture, and the HubSpot Culture Code has become a model of health and happiness. It's the reason why they're continually voted as one of the happiest places to work. But that's also not the only reason why I think he's amazing. Here's the real reason Dharmesh is my hero. When he decided to start HubSpot, Dharmesh had one important caveat. He never wanted to manage a single person, ever, in his career. And throughout every stage of growth for this technology behemoth, from inception through IPO, Dharmesh stuck to his desire and stayed true to his word. And in the process, he became one of the most successful CTOs in history without ever having a single direct report. That is amazing. Managing people isn't easy. It's a constant juggling act. And just as it feels like you're hitting a groove, the floor shifts from under your feet and you're knocked off balance. The juggling act involves 4 different elements to keep in the air when managing employees. They are business operations, emotional health, interpersonal balance, and personality maintenance. Let me touch on each one pretty quickly. So business operations, you need to make sure the employees get their work done. That's kind of management 101, isn't it? Emotional health. Happy people are productive people. It's your job to keep your team motivated, inspired, and happy. Number 3, interpersonal balance. Your team members must be able to communicate effectively with each other. That doesn't always happen as effortlessly as we'd like. So it's your job to help manage those flailing interpersonal relationships. And then number 4, personality maintenance. Everybody has different needs and different triggers and different ways of weighing on you. Your role as a manager is to balance those personalities to maintain harmony and progress. And putting those 4 pieces together in the most optimum way is kind of like rubbing your stomach and patting your head while spinning ceramic plates on top of bamboo sticks that are clenched between your cramping toes. You're basically one sneeze away from complete chaos. Managing people is a learned skill, but they don't teach you how to do it in high school. And they don't teach you how to do it in college. And they certainly don't teach you how to do it at most companies. Still, when you excel at doing your job, your reward is that you get to manage people. The better you do at your job, the more people you get to manage until you're no longer doing any of the job that you excelled at in the first place. We are expected to accept that career trajectory. We're expected to embrace the idea that all roads to success involve managing people. After all, if you don't embrace it, you're kind of penalized. If you don't want to manage people, you don't get the promotion. You don't get the bigger title, and you're definitely not going to get the increased compensation. But then along came Dharmesh. There's a bias around managing people. The common belief is that in order to be a successful leader, you must be good at managing people. Heck, if you can't manage people, how good of a leader can you really be? Am I right? Honestly, I think that attitude stinks like a scared skunk at a coyote convention. Some of the best workers, in fact, some of the best leaders, are not great people managers. In my executive coaching business, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and the leaders they hire. The entrepreneurial mindset is not always compatible with managing people. However, the transition from founder to leader is one of the most difficult transformations to accomplish. In fact, only 0.01% of entrepreneurs can do it successfully. Does that mean the entrepreneurial founder needs to leave the company if they can't manage people? Well, why don't you ask Dharmesh that question? Throughout my career, I've worked with some truly brilliant entrepreneurial minds who weren't good managers of people. Most of them ended up leaving the company or being fired. I also know more than a few salespeople who can generate millions of dollars in new business every year, but they couldn't manage a sales team if they came with an instruction manual. What happened to those salespeople? Well, they never rose to senior management. Call me crazy, but I think this is a whole rung of wrong. Let's face it, not everybody is good at managing people. Not everybody even wants to manage people. It's just not fair to penalize people who are great at their jobs simply because they don't excel in a completely unrelated area of leadership. Leadership is about behavior. People can exemplify leadership behavior without having to manage direct reports. That's a fact. Just ask Dharmesh. Maybe it's time to rethink the way you think about leadership. Should all the leaders in your company be managing people? Will your company be more productive by removing direct report responsibilities from certain individuals? The fact remains that expertise, influence, and innovation can happen without requiring people management. So maybe it's time we repave the path to success with an option that allows some people to excel in their passion without the frustrations involved in managing others. In the end, not being a manager doesn't mean you aren't a leader. In fact, your contribution to a company can be just as valuable and maybe even more when you're not mired in people management. Just ask Dharmesh. Thank you for listening to this. If you like it, please leave a review, give it 5 stars, share it with a friend. If you're interested to learn how to 10x your team's productivity, drop me a line, leadership@bytitleonly.com. In the meantime, I look forward to talking to you next week. I appreciate you. Take care. Bye now.